Hi everybody, Andy Bartosh here. Today I want to talk about the pentatonic and going further across the pentatonic. The pentatonic is a great thing. It sounds absolutely great. We all love it. Everybody who plays blues and blues rock or 70s rock, pop stuff, it's all about this. Oh, this was more than pentatonic, sorry. We all love to play those. But the problem with the pentatonic is that you never hear the chords. And if you listen to those famous players who are famous for playing pentatonic, like say Eric Clapton, if you listen to Crossroads, it's not only pentatonic, it's a little bit more than that. He plays the sixth sometimes, he plays the major third sometimes, stuff like that. So I don't want to teach you scales or things like that. I just show you some notes that sound good and you can add to the pentatonic. But first of all, you should think about the chorus. So when you have a blues, it's 12 bars, most of the time. So imagine a sheet of paper, you have 3 rows. In the first row, each row has 4 bars. So in the first row, in the first bar, there is A7. In the second bar is D7. In the third and the fourth bar is A7 again. Then we come to the second row. We have D7 for 2 bars, then A7 for 2 bars. Now we come to the third row and we have E7 1 bar and D7 1 bar, A7 1 bar and E7 1 bar. I will make an insert for that, but try to imagine that. Don't look at on the paper when you play, just imagine it. It's like you play your normal stuff, but on a parallel part of your brain, this chord form is moving along. These 12 bars are always moving in circles. That helps a lot. So we start now. The first note we add is the major third in A. It's a C sharp. When you play a blues in A and you play your pentatonic stuff, you play the C, that's the minor third, and the D, that's the fourth. So you play things like. That doesn't sound like A7. It sounds bluesy, but not like A7. And maybe if you are a little bit used to it, you bend the C, and now you have the third, the major third. But you can also play it without bending. Now, these are licks that sound absolutely like A7. Oh, I did a chromatic. The root note, the major 7 to the 7. So this is. You can also always combine notes with chromatic. You can, if you play from the 7th to the 5th, you can. That's okay. It's always fine. So now we have this major third in it. We stay in this position. It's the easiest position here. We have here A7. We have D7 here. E7 also. And A7 again. So you have the major third here. And so when you play a pentatonic, you normally play like. But now you can play it here. You can learn it in a few positions, but start with this position. That's a very fine thing. The next note is the third of D7. I told you on the second bar we have D7. So now we don't have the G, because the G is the sus4 in D. We play the F sharp. You can stay in the pentatonic, but you play, and you have a little bit D sounding. That's the triad of D major is, and the arpeggio of D7 is. The F sharp you also have here. That's F sharp. That's the third of D7. Here you have the minor third of D7. You can add it also. You add now the minor 7 of D. You have the fourth as a G in the pentatonic, but you don't have, and that's D7. It's like, and in E7, always the same notes. So we have one little figure. It goes like, for A. For D we have, and yeah, just leave it here. It's enough, because we don't play so high now. We do that later. And for E we have, or you see, it's always the fourth, the minor third, and the major third. D7, again, A. Now we come to E, D, A. That's fine. So you can start playing more notes. Just you play around the third of the chord. The third of A7, the major third of A7 is the C sharp. The major third of D7 is the F sharp, and the major third of E7 is the G sharp. And you always do things like, and in A, and in D, yeah, and now you can mix it with your pentatonic. Let's say I play blues in A, I have no chords, but you will hear the chords. I mix the pentatonic with these few notes I taught you now. Just like that. So there's also another note that sounds pretty fine, and it's the third, the major third of D7 is the F sharp, but the F sharp is also the sixth of A. So when you play a A7 chords and you play the sixth, it's a A13 chords. It's the sixth and the 7 in it. And even if you play your standard pentatonic licks like, so if you have an A7 chord and you play it with the sixth, that sounds different. It's a very nice thing. It's, in this case, it's not just the third of D7, but it's the sixth of A7. In the end, when you combine more chord notes, then it gets clearer and clearer what chord you are playing. Okay, now I change the form of your blues. I play 4 bars A, the first row. 2 bars D7 is the second row now. 2 bars A7. 1 bar E7, 1 bar D7, we are in the third row now. 1 bar A and 1 bar E. So first row A7, second row D7, A7, third row E7, D7, A7, E7. So first you have to think about it, and then it becomes pretty normal. You don't have to. I don't think about the chords anymore. I just play them. So I play the blues now, as I told you. D, it's A, E, D, yeah, so I hope this lesson helps you a little bit getting into chords. You can put a sheet in front of your face in the beginning if it's too hard to think about it, but leave the sheet after a while and make it without sheets. It's much better if everything you have in your mind, you don't need papers or stuff, you can play it. And blues is really not such a hard thing. And that's the way how it works when you play over changes in the end, when you play complicated jazz tunes, whatever. It's like that. It's just a little bit more chords, but it's not so much difference. So you don't need to play scales all the time, up and down. You just play your stuff as you played it, but you add some notes to it. I think that's a good way to get better and to get more vocabulary in your playing. So I hope you enjoyed this little lesson, and I wish you good luck and hope to see you again. Please subscribe my channel, make comments, and click the tip jar if you want to. All the best. Bye.